Alright guys, so just an update to the RO unit filter replacement. It is now approximately at least a good hour after the RO unit filters have been replaced. I just got a few minutes to install this LED grow light for my Refugium over here underneath my sump filtration system. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out for more details. Just to give you guys an update in regards to the RO unit, the gravity fed auto top off is actually now halfway full, and it is already started to on its own fill up on the sump filtration system gravity. I didn't even have to prime it or mess around with it. Usually I have to kind of shake the line a little bit to kind of get the water flowing, maybe go up and down a few times on the float valve here in the sump. But overall, I just kind of forgot about it. I know that it was still filling up, and then I'm like, oh, it's actually already filling up the tank. I have the valve open to fill up the tank, and it is filling up the return chamber here on my sump filtration system. So everything is working good. We still got 0 parts per million on the RO unit. As I mentioned, this guy's already almost full. We got the valve here coming from the side, just simply trickling down as I mentioned, and it's working good as I planned. So just wanted to give you guys an update. I got some other stuff to go do, organize right now. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Much love, Leopazzo. Bye. Okay guys, so I'm just about to mount the controller of my protein skimmer. This is the Cloud9 Coral Box protein skimmer.
20 minutes later.
Look what I got, guys. I got some Liverock, a piece there on the left with some purple Coraline algae. I got some Cheato. I got a Marine Pure bio filter block along with another piece of Liverock. I'm just on the way home right now, stuck in a little bit of traffic. But luckily enough to get some of the stuff from a local reefer. Now I just got to go back home and put the stuff into the tank, guys. So stay tuned. Look at this piece of purple Coraline algae. Nice, man. I'll be scraping that off a little bit, placing that inside my tank to hopefully get it to spread. Yeah. And this Cheato is going to go amazing with the new light that I got. Smells fishy. What's going on, guys? Leopazzo TV. Thanks very much for tuning in. I just got back home from 2 local reefers here within the GTA, and luckily enough they were able to supply me. Well, one was able to give me some Cheato for free, so I was able to get some Cheato macro algae right here in this bucket, at least a good 2 handful size at least, which is going to do quite nicely here in my Refugium that I just set up my LED light yesterday. I also went to this other reefer's house and I managed to pick up some Liverock from his display tank, which had some Coraline algae on it, some nice purple Coraline algae, which I plan to put into my display tank to seed the tank, as well as scraping off some of the Coraline algae. I'll turn off my return pumps, but I'll keep my wave makers on to kind of spread out the purple Coraline particles that I kind of scrape off the Liverock here. I'll show you what I mean when I go ahead and do it. So he gave me some Liverock from his display tank with purple Coraline algae, along with some Liverock from his sump filtration system. So I have Liverock here that looks pretty white, that didn't really seem too much light and doesn't really have any kind of purple Coraline algae, but there is definitely some bacteria on it that's going to help me cycle my tank. One in this bucket, and I have another small piece on this bucket. So you can see this is just a very small piece right here. It has some nice purple Coraline algae on it, and if you see, there's actually a snail right here that's actually covered in this purple Coraline algae. So this is a nice little piece of rock that I'm definitely going to use. What I plan to do here, actually, just because he gave me some of his tank water, and I want the bacteria from the Liverocks, I don't really want to keep his water. And here's another piece of Liverock here that I was talking about. Look at this piece right here. It's not really the best lighting right now, but there is definitely some nice pieces of purple on here that I plan to use to my advantage. So he just literally grabbed these right from his display tank and his sump filtration system. So what I want to do here is drain out some water from my tank in a new bucket, and I'm just going to kind of rinse this new Liverock through my tank water before introducing it into my tank, and kind of see if there's any unwanted pest on the Liverock that I can see before introducing it into my display tank. The same reefer with the 180-gallon tank managed to give me this 8x8 by 4 inches Marine Pure Cube block that I'm going to be putting in my sump filtration system. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that I'm going to be adding this in? Well, you know what? I think it's a good thing. There might be some kind of critters or some pests maybe inside this little block, but you know what? I think overall it might be more beneficial than kind of bad. So I will put this in the tank, and I'll just kind of observe it for the most part. But you know what, it is what it is. These are part of the decisions that we're going to be making while doing reef keeping. We're basically putting stuff in our tank from other people's tanks. But from what I can see, his tank looked nice, his sump filtration and system looked very clean, and I was lucky enough to be able to pull this out from his system because he's slowly starting to shut down his system, and he has some fish and some Liverock and some stuff to basically get rid of. He's going to be jumping into fresh water. So I was able to get this stuff from that reefer, and as I mentioned, I got this bucket full of Cheato that I'm going to be putting in my Refugium, and then I put my lights here of my Refugium on a timer opposite of my display tank. So if you guys want to stay tuned and see what's going on with the 125-gallon tank build, we're still only on week 2. I'm still adding the bacteria in a bottle by Seachem, the seed bacteria that's going to be cycling my tank, and I have been adding it slowly throughout the last week. So from the testing that I've been doing, my ammonia has raised, and today when I did some testing, my ammonia is now slowly starting to get much lower, but I still notice that there are some nitrites and there are some nitrates. So I'm going to have to wait it out a little bit longer, probably maybe the end of the week or so. I'm just going to continue cycling and testing the tank, and by me adding this this media by this Liverock with this bacteria and this Cheato, that's going to hopefully benefit my tank and kind of see things being able to cycle. So now it's only, again, like I said, week 2, so hopefully by week 3 we'll probably be able to add some fish. So stay tuned, I'll let you guys know how everything goes. I think that looks pretty good. It fits in there good. Just underneath my plumbing. The drain water is landing on it. So I'm going to monitor the Cheato right now for the next few days or hours or whatever, just to make sure that it kind of doesn't want to float over into my return pump chamber. I'm thinking I can simply just make some kind of like a guard out of egg crate that I just recently bought, and I can just kind of cut the size to kind of go across. So I may decide to do that. That's what I was planning to do, just to kind of make sure that the Cheato doesn't float over to the other side. So it looks pretty good. I can see a few loose pieces are starting to float over to the return pump section, which I may see inside the sump. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that egg crate once I've finished putting in the rest of this Liverock. And we got the Cheato going. I got my light over here. It's set on a timer for at nighttime. Other than that, we gotta add this Liverock in. So I should probably add some of this Liverock that he gave me from his sump. I should probably add this in my refugium. And he gave me another piece right here. I might as well just add this in here for now. I can always change things around. So yeah, yesterday I also added a small submergible pump at the bottom of my skimmer chamber, because as you can see, my skimmer is elevated approximately 4 or 5 inches. So there's some area over there that I can see that the debris might be settling a little bit. So I just wanted to keep that kind of suspended in the water column. So I added a submergible pump down there at the bottom, just kind of circulating. My temperature is looking pretty good. I got it at, looks like 78.5, 79, so that's pretty good. I'm happy with that for now. So guys, here's a little maybe better look of the Coraline algae on this rock right here. It has some nice purple on it. So I'm going to be using the smaller piece right here just because it's nice and easy to work with. That also has some Coraline algae on it. I'll be using this one to scrape off some of the purple of the Coraline algae and be placing that into the tank as well, just because it's easier to work with. So now let's go ahead and get a nice fresh razor blade and we'll scrape some of this off. We'll put it inside the tank. Stay tuned. Much love. Leopazzo. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.